Yeah, Michelle Mackey is in for Kevin Yard today, and she's actually on the hunt for those power outages. Over 15,000 people without power this morning. Michelle, how does it feel out there? I know it's a lot milder than it has been.
Widespread power outages following yesterday's messy system. 15,000 customers still waking up without power throughout the city today. We're going to have much more as we follow this story throughout the morning. Crews are working hard to restore power. But first, let's talk about the temperatures you are waking up to. Toronto sitting at -2, Barrie, Kitchener -3, Hamilton and Oshawa sitting at -1. But when we factor in those winds from the west, we are going to be feeling much colder than that. So dress for the cold today. But Emily, certainly don't need to dress for the wintry mess that we saw yesterday.
But first, Michelle Mackey's in for Kevin Yard this morning. And Michelle, today temperatures must feel balmy in comparison to what we've been dealing with.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Emily. I'm actually quite comfortable outside today, but I'm sure you'll be talking about this throughout the hour. Those temperatures are going to drop as we head into later this week. Waking up, though, Hamilton sitting at -1, Oshawa and Toronto, a cool, still below seasonal, but relatively mild in comparison, -2 into Kitchener sitting at -3 and Barrie -5. But when we factor in those westerly winds, it is going to be feeling slightly cooler. Now, the big story this morning, of course, we have about 15,000 customers throughout the GTA that are waking up to no power. So I'm in Rexdale. We're in the zone where there's no power, Emily, but we are seeing slowly power coming restored in the area. Toronto Hydro working really hard, so we're going to keep you posted throughout the hour as power continues to be restored throughout the city.
All right. Thanks so much, Michelle.
Thanks, Emily. Michelle Mackey joining you this morning in for Kevin Yard. And of course, the big story through the GTA this morning, the 15,000 customers waking up with no power. And that, of course, is all thanks to yesterday's messy system that gripped southern Ontario. Now, I'm coming to you from Rexdale. We are in the zone where power outage is being reported online on Toronto Hydro, but we are slowly seeing some lights come on. Power is becoming restored. Crews out are working quite hard. Now, we're going to have lots more on this throughout the hour, keeping you posted with everything you need to know. But first, let's talk your morning temperatures. Through Hamilton, you'll be waking up to a balmy -1 in comparison to those frigid temperatures we saw last week. Oshawa and Toronto sitting at -2, -3 in Barrie, and a cool -5 in Kitchener. But when we factor in those wind chills, it is going to be feeling much colder. So make sure you dress for that. Here's Tom now with a look at the roads. Thanks for that. That was your Force of Nature Extended with Emily Vukovic. I'm Michelle Mackey in today for Kevin Yard, coming to you from Rexdale, where I'm at Vulcan and Martin Grove, and you can see behind me we do have police officers rerouting traffic because we have widespread power outages through the area. An intersection up the road is closed. Crews are working on it. That is the big story this morning after yesterday's messy mix of snow, freezing rain, freezing drizzle through much of southern Ontario. Now, we aren't going to see much in the way of precipitation through Ontario today, and temperatures, they're relatively mild in comparison to those frigid temperatures we saw last week. Hamilton sitting at -2, Toronto and Barrie -3, Oshawa a similar temperature for you, and Kitchener -5. But dress for the winds. Those westerly winds are going to make the temperatures feel much colder than that. Now here's Tom with a look at traffic. Tom, I'm sure the power outages are affecting the morning commute.
We've got Michelle Mackey filling in for Kevin Yard today. And Michelle, I think you picked the right day because, I mean, Kevin has been standing out there in frigid temperatures for the last 3 months. And now today, almost above the freezing mark. It must feel okay.
Yeah, you know what? It's not bad. After 37 days in Toronto below 0 degrees, this -2, it's okay. And last night, hey, we got above 0, so not bad. Now, yesterday, the big story, of course, was that messy system that brought us mixed precipitation through the city of Toronto. And the story today, as a result of that, widespread power outages, 15,000 customers through the GTA waking up with no power. One of those power outages happens to be behind me at Vulcan and Martin Grove. Police are actually shutting off the intersection because the lights are out and it's really not going over too well with the morning commuters. Tom's going to have a look at the traffic as we move throughout the hour. But for now, Emily, how are the afternoon temperatures looking and beyond?
Speaking of which, Michelle Mackey's in for Kevin Yard today, and she is kind of right in the moment of the power outages. And as you're standing there, like, are you noticing different neighborhoods getting connected?
Yeah, we are, Emily. Slowly, power is being restored. We're in Rexdale right now. We were driving around this morning and slowly seeing some lights turn on in neighborhoods, but still not everyone has had their power restored. We still have thousands of customers without power through much of the GTA, and that, of course, all thanks to yesterday's messy system. And because of all these power outages, we're seeing major traffic delays. You can see behind me crews working to restore an intersection here, the lights. And well, from snow, freezing rain, ice pellets, and freezing drizzle, we had a little bit of everything in terms of precipitation through much of southern Ontario yesterday. Today we are seeing clearing, though, and temperatures just below that freezing mark. Toronto currently sitting at -2. It's a similar story for Hamilton. Friends in Oshawa, a little bit colder, sitting at -3. Similar in Barrie, and a cool -4 to start the day off in Kitchener. But keep in mind, those winds coming out of the west are going to make those temperatures feel slightly cooler, so dress for that. Now, another big story today, the power outages. We had about 15,000 customers wake up in the dark, and not only has that caused problems for getting ready for the day, of course, but also it's caused a lot of havoc on the roads. You can see behind me here in Rexdale at Vulcan and Martin Grove, police are having to reroute traffic because the lights are out. And Tom, I can imagine that there's plenty more issues on the roads, all thanks to these power outages. That was Emily with your Force of Nature Extended. My name's Michelle Mackey, in today for Kevin Yard, joining you from Rexdale. And the sun will be making an appearance after yesterday's messy system through southern Ontario. And the temperatures hovering just under that freezing mark. In the city of Toronto, we're sitting at -2. Also -2 waking up in Hamilton. Barrie -3. And into our friends in Kitchener and Oshawa sitting at -4. And look at that, the sun is shining. So it's really not a bad day in comparison to yesterday. But unfortunately, because of that system yesterday, we've had widespread power outages through the GTA. You can see at the intersection behind me, Belfield and Martin Grove, they actually had a hydro pole catch on fire last night. So hydro crews are working hard to restore power to the area. And I'm sure those power outages are playing a big role, actually, in the morning commute, Tom.
All right, we've got Michelle Mackey. She's joining us live on the scene. I believe she's in Rexdale. And Michelle, you've been dealing with, power outages, not only in people's homes, but you're seeing a lot of intersections without lights.
That's right, Emily. You can see behind me here at the intersection Martin Grove and Belfield. Last night, they actually had a hydro pole catch on fire. So Toronto Hydro crews out trying to restore service for the area. Police down the road rerouting traffic. It's a mess. It's an absolute nightmare on the roads. Tom has been giving us some great traffic updates. Now, in terms of your temperatures, they're just under that freezing mark through much of southern Ontario. So we still are below seasonal, but I mean, they feel downright balmy when we compare them to the temperatures we had last week. Toronto right now sitting at -2. Also -2 waking up in Hamilton as we head into Barrie sitting at -3, and Kitchener and Oshawa -4. But keep in mind, you always want to dress for the wind chill, and with those winds coming out of the west, it is going to feel colder than that, Emily.
Let's check in with Michelle Mackey. She's in for Kevin Yard today. And Michelle, power outages, it's been a big deal across the city. It's caused transportation issues. It's caused commuter issues. What's the word on the street right now?
Yeah, Emily, you know what? It's been a huge issue. About 15,000 customers throughout the GTA woke up this morning in the dark, no power, and that's also caused a lot of havoc on the roads. Plenty of lights and intersections are out, really not making commuters very happy by any means.
We've got Michelle Mackey in for Kevin Yard today. She's live on the scene in one of those neighborhoods. And Michelle, how are people faring? I mean, are you seeing neighborhoods coming up with some power? Are people using generators? What's going on?
Yeah, that's right. So I'm in Rexdale, and power is slowly being restored. Toronto Hydro crews really working hard this morning because 15,000 customers waking up with no power. And of course, that was all thanks to yesterday's messy system where we saw snow, freezing rain, ice pellets, rain, a little bit of everything, Emily, that really caused havoc. Now, today, high pressure is moving in place, so we're seeing the sun once again and the temperatures still below seasonal, but we've broken the streak. We are no longer in that 37-day streak of under below zero temperatures.
I think that is great news. Thanks so much, Michelle.
Here's Michelle Mackey with more.
Thousands are waking up in the dark throughout the GTA thanks to yesterday's messy system. Now, not only are the power outages causing trouble for people trying to get ready to do their daily activities, but it's also causing major traffic delays. Now, I'm here with Nana. Tell me about your morning commute.
It was very, very bad today.
Yeah, it's certainly been a rough morning for commuters and a messy start to March.
Here's Michelle Mackey with more.
Well, from snow, ice pellets, freezing rain to rain, we saw a little bit of everything in terms of precipitation yesterday through much of southern Ontario. And unfortunately, because of that messy mix, we've seen widespread power outages through the GTA. In fact, about 15,000 customers woke up to no power through much of the city on Wednesday. Not only has that caused trouble, of course, for customers, but traffic has been a major issue with plenty of lights down. You can see behind me, they are working to restore traffic flow. Crews at Toronto Hydro working very hard today.
And we also had widespread power outages in and around the city of Toronto. Here's Michelle Mackey with more.
Well, yesterday's system brought us a mixed bag of precipitation, including freezing rain, which has contributed to widespread power outages through the GTA. In fact, about 15,000 people woke up throughout the city with no power in the dark. And that's also caused a lot of issues on the roads with many intersections, no lights, no power. And of course, you can imagine commuters not happy that they are having to change their routes this morning. You can see behind me folks talking to police officers trying to get in to their place of work to start the day.